I'll be honest, there wasn't much good that came from the Holocaust. However, a man named Viktor Frankl survived the Holocaust. And Viktor is one of my heroes because he formed a whole new way of thinking through his experience with the Holocaust. Now, keep in mind that this is a man who lost his family, almost his entire family, during the Holocaust in Germany during World War II. And what he came out of that experience teaching everybody is that we all have the ability to choose our response to the situation that we're in. Wow. He came up with an entire field of psychology called logotherapy. And what that is just that. You've got a stimulus and you've got a response, and you've got a space between those two things that if you take a moment in there to choose what the best response is to the stimulus, then you always have the ability to choose. Many times we think we just have to react. We react to what the politician says. We react to what the person, driving next to us is doing. We react to things instead of responding in the way that we think is best. Now, we haven't been in that sort of a situation that Viktor was in, right? Thank goodness we haven't been. However, now let's take what he taught us and apply it to our lives, which is honestly a lot less serious than what he was dealing with. Let's take the opportunity to say, okay, this thing is rubbing me wrong. How can I respond to it so that it is the best response possible for myself and for all of those around me? That is the foundation of what we call resilience. Being able to really analyze what situation you're in and then be able to respond in the healthiest, most productive way possible. That is resilience. And resilience is one of the key things that allows people to be healthy. Because after all, if we are resilient to the stresses in our lives, that allows us to move past those stresses and maybe even gain health from them. However, if we're not resilient to those stresses, then they overwhelm our systems, they cause a chronic stress response, and we lose health and gain chronic illness from that. So our resilience is key. Please don't get lost in all of that. The resilience is key. And this is the thing. We have stress in our lives. We can have resilience that is bigger than the stress in our lives, or we can have resilience that is lower than the stress in our lives. And while yes, it's nice to think that we can decrease the stress in our lives, and I certainly encourage people to do that, we also need to look for things in life that improve our resilience. And that's why I became a chiropractor. That I realized back in my 20s that chiropractic, while it didn't take away the stress in my life, it allowed me to thrive through the stress that I was under. All right, I'm Dr. Chris Grier with Bright Futures Chiropractic. If this is curious to you, if you're wondering, how could I respond differently to the stress that I'm in, both mentally and physiologically, I'd be happy to talk with you. I'm always here to do consultations for folks. Feel free to give us a call. We'll set up a 10-minute consultation either on the phone, virtually, or right here in the office. I'm here to help. I look forward to seeing our community and our society become healthier and healthier and healthier because of new ways of thinking. Get out there and enjoy your day.